And hello, welcome to the Social Justice Forums. I am your host, Daren Jaime, and we thank you for joining us. If you're asking the question, what is this show all about? We bring you a forum discussing and providing a deeper understanding of the issues and inequities that so many communities face. Things such as systemic inequalities to pressing social problems. Our guests provide multiple perspectives and insights, helping us to better understand and address these challenges. So we invite you to stay connected to us. The Social Justice Forum starts now. And we are back from the stage to the canvas. Creativity is the lifeblood of New York's cultural landscape. And for 4 decades, the company Great Performances has fueled that creativity by offering professional event catering services while staying true to its mission of supporting the arts. Recently, and following the 2025 Art Fellowship Awards, where 4 multi-talented staff members were recognized with $5,000 grants, we'll dive into why the initiative. Now joining us is the event producer who helped to bring this year's ceremony to life. And we welcome to the show, Ms. Jill Cole. And Jill, glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us a little bit about the company and about the performance, Great Performances.
Sure. So Great Performances, we've been in business for over 45 years. Our founder, Liz Newmark, was a third generation Manhattanite. And the company started, the original name was called Artists as Waitresses. And we were supporting women in the arts who wanted to make money and fulfill their catering, their arts dreams. So we gave them kind of shifts and opportunity to make money while they were fulfilling their arts passion. So that's how the original company started. And we've been kind of growing ever since. We want our wait staff to fulfill their arts passion while still picking up shifts from us. And the Arts Fellowship Awards lets them do that. They apply for grants. And they apply for projects that they're working on and need funding for. So it's a really great way for us as a company, and I've been with Great Performances almost 20 years, to really help them with their journey. So it's just an amazing opportunity for people who are just trying to perform and trying to fulfill a project. And the project could be anything. It could be a podcast that they're working on, or a photography project, or a dance thing, composer that they're working on. So anything in the arts. And our name now is Great Performances. I'm actually sitting in a rehearsal room, a Jazz at Lincoln Center, where a lot of our events happen. So we are deeply committed to the arts. The name of our company is Great Performances, and we really want our staff to stand out in whatever personal pursuit their journey is on.
Yeah. Well, I want to take a moment for our viewers to explain a little bit more, because as you talk about a production cannot be a production without full execution from start to finish. So from the initial all the way up until the finish, give me a little bit of a run through.
So of particular events, yes, like what we do. So we're producing events mostly on the catering side. So we'll get calls from clients like, I want to have a gala dinner or a wedding or a corporate event in their offices. We're a fully off-premise catering company, so we're able to produce food, beverage, staff, and bring everything to the event. It's like a pop-up of production. We bring it all to the event. We cater it on site. We service from, 5-star Michelin star level dinners all the way to outdoor festivals for kids, families, things like that. So it really runs the gamut. We can do a party of 10 people to 4,000 people, and it takes a village. And we always say that we never can do it alone. I'll get the call as a salesperson to start that process. We produce it from that small call that I initially get with a client all the way to the full production. We find out how much staff that needs. We have hundreds of staff on call with us, and they choose the shifts that they want to work, which is why this fellowship awards really works for them. So if they are performing and they're pursuing an acting job or a dancing job, they choose the shifts that they want to work at Great Performances. So that's what makes us a little bit different from a catering and event perspective company, that our staff want to be there. So they're hospitable, they're excited and engaged, and we do events all in the tri-state area.
Yeah. You spoke a little bit about the Fellowship Awards. Let's get right into it because you recently announced the 2025 Fellowship Awards. For our viewers, let's give them a little bit about the awards background.
Sure. So it really started, Liz kind of wanted to help the wait staff to pursue their dreams. So um, she started out as with very small grants. They were $1,000 scholarships, and it was like for one person. And, you know, 35 years ago, that was like an enormous thing, like how to give scholarship out. So she tried it out. It went really well. And it's been really an annual event since, and it's grown. Now we have four winners that are $5,000 scholarships, like you said. So, and what's really unique about the Fellowship Awards is that the judging of the winners is not done by Great Performances. We source outside consultants, and many of them are in the arts community. They could be executive director of a nonprofit or somebody that has experience in this. So we get a group of judges together externally from Great Performances, and they judge the awards. So there's excitement that builds around it. A lot of our wait staff talk about it for months. They work on their projects and their applications, and sometimes we know the deadline, and we're like, oh my gosh, we didn't get many applications. And then we get flooded with applications for the awards, like right at the last minute. And we get some amazing proposals. I actually don't see them because I am not a judge. I work for Great Performances. So it's exciting for us to see the winners because we oftentimes don't really know their projects and what they're working on. And it could really run the gamut. A podcast winner won this year. And a poet won this year. So the varied and diverse options that the winners have is just extraordinary. And we document them and we work with them throughout the year to find out how that grant really affects them. We'll see a book published that we didn't, it was an independent book published. One of the years was a children's book. We had a photography project, and we got to see that full photography. We put it on our website, and we really, want our staff to pursue their dreams. And it's funny because sometimes I see them working an event as a captain or a chef, and I don't know what they're doing outside of the hospitality world. So it's exciting even for me to see, oh my gosh, you wrote a children's book. Like, that's amazing. How can I help promote it more? So it comes full circle.
Yeah. And you see so many different career types with people who are in the hospitality businesses. They work in hospitality, but there's a whole other side to them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And as you shared a little bit, I was looking and thinking about how much you can really, well, I would say be overwhelmed by the fact of so many applications that you get in, because these applications now, as you said, you start off, I'm not sure, all of a sudden you get flooded and slammed. Now,
Yeah.
let's take it a step further. Once you get that application in, what is the evaluation committee focusing on to really determine who's the best of the best?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So our judges work independently from Great Performances. So they'll set up a couple of Zoom meetings where the judges will get all of the applications, and there are certain criterias that they work on. And um, I don't know all the details, but it's really achievable goals, right? That you have a project that you need funding for, and what can the judges see in that project as a little nudge, a little egg that like is ready to hatch and just needs a little umph. So our judges look for achievable goals. So that's, I would say, the most important thing when our judges are judging is, what will this grant do for the applicant and how can we achieve it in a certain time frame, right? So it's not a grant to just take acting lessons or voice lessons. Like, that's not what the grant is for. It's really to have a really tangible project that we can help see them over the finish line.
Yeah. For yourself, obviously, it's got to be a great feeling helping artists be able to take that next step. When you think about the borough, the Bronx, New York City, it's the arts. And the fact that you're actually able to impact and influence an artist's life, what does that really mean for you as well as the organization?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we moved our headquarters to the South Bronx, Mott Haven, in 2019. We have 3 floors. We have 45,000 square feet. So we have an enormous footprint in the Bronx. And that was really exciting for us as a company. We were kind of outgrowing our space in Soho, and we looked a really long time and found this amazing space in the South Bronx. So we hire a lot of Bronx natives. A lot of people that work in our kitchen and on our wait staff are Bronx based. So the Bronx is really near and dear to our hearts. And it's community. We always say, like, everything starts local. So if someone is out there and looking for a job and needs to, make a little money, has some culinary skills or has some hospitality skills, like, they're always welcome to apply for our company.
Yeah. For those who want to take part in the awards and really think about, hey, this might be my year. What's the process for them, and what's the deadline?
Yeah, so they have to work a certain number of hours for us, like over the course of the year. So, a pretty dedicated employee on our payroll for a certain amount of time. And then the process, it happened last fall, but we'll usually announce the fellowship awards usually in the summer. We give people a few months. Hey, our fellowship awards are coming up. If you think about an application, let us know. And then there's certain deadlines that they follow throughout the fall. Um, through like October, November, and then the judges will judge before December. And then last week, I think it was last week or the week before, that's when we announce the winners and present them with a check right in January. So it's a really a full year process.
And for yourself, obviously, as I said, it's a great opportunity to really pour into the lives of artists and those people who are really making a difference in our community. For yourself, how have you seen this transcend through the years?
Yeah, I've definitely seen excitement and engagement around the fellowship awards. And it's great to talk to staff on site at the events and say, what is your passion? What are you working on? And get to know them as individuals rather than just a sea of staff that's at an event. So we really get to personalize and get to know our staff individually based on whatever project that they're pursuing. And again, it runs the gamut. So sometimes I have no idea that somebody is a voiceover actor. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Of course you are, because you have this amazing deep voice. But I don't know those things. So I get to know our staff on a personal level through the fellowship awards on whatever they're pursuing, and then build a relationship with them throughout the years. And like I said, I've been here 20 years. So I've really seen amazing staff come and go. And sometimes when they go, that's actually a good thing. Like, if they're not needing, um, you know, to pick up shifts and make extra hours because they've made it big, that's always a good thing. We want them to fly the coop too.
You, you definitely do. If they make that level of success, it's great for
Great.
them, and obviously it's great for you because then at the end of the day you have great alumni. And when you speak of alumni, talk to us about some of the success stories that you've seen and how they're impacting the
Um,
world today.
Yeah, we've seen there's like I think one actor that like made it on like a full tele. We have a lot of actors that make it on TV. Who have started bit parts, some HBO shows, some local Law and Order shows. So we see a lot of staff that's kind of coming in and out of television based in New York, but we also see a lot of staff that go on the road. They do a lot of summer stage. They're gone for the summer working a show or something like that. So we see them come and go. We do have some famous alumni that sometimes talk about us and sometimes not, but they're always welcome back in the Great Performances family.
Yeah. I got to ask you about this here because when we talk about the goals and the goals of the program and the goals of the awards themselves, obviously it's to empower and to enrich. And empowering and enriching in a tough, in the tough times, particularly when it comes to the arts. And I think of all the economic challenges, social challenges that are going on right now. But when it comes to budgets, like it's almost like the arts is the first thing to go. For
Yeah.
you to be able to give this kind of infusion in a time like this, what does it mean?
It's really, really special. The arts is, like you said, the first thing that gets cut. We see it often with our nonprofit galas that get budget squeezed. The arts is just on the cusp. So we feel it's just so important to keep that arts community alive. And we do it this way. We'll give these scholarships out because we feel so passionate about it. And we will really, really work hard towards making their dreams a reality.
Yeah. You have established talent, then you have emerging. And so, how do you do the job of the balancing act, if you will, when you talk about celebrating artists? Because you do have those two types, like the establishing and the emerging. Yeah, work that out for us.
So, like our staff are all on the spectrum, I would say, of emerging talent, established talent, and they actually work a lot with each other. So sometimes I'll see staff like, oh, I'm doing this, or I'm in this dance program, or I am doing a spoken word reading. So we go and we support them. And I remember just a couple of years ago, we had a bunch of staff that was doing a personal reading of a one act play. And they were like, we're just doing an open reading. Do you want to come see it? And we had so many of our staff and all of our managers that went to hear this open reading. And whether it goes to and makes it a real play or not, that's sometimes the excitement that we see in emerging artists. Like we went to just a table read, which is kind of cool. People like me who are kind of not in the arts, but yet peripherally, tangentially connected to the arts. I love seeing that. I love seeing a backstage rehearsal that I don't ever get to see. So those are the things that like keep me excited about the fellowship awards. I get invited to things that I don't normally get to see behind the scenes, programming and the actual work that our artists are doing to get. So I'll see like their preliminary artwork and their preliminary photo journals. And I get to see that process come alive through their journey. But yeah, our staff is definitely both established and emerging. And we see both at our events.
Does it ever surprise you, given the fact that you get a sneak peek behind the scenes and get to see them, in their element, doing what they do, and at the same time, they've got a whole nother job that they do?
I know. It's really mind-boggling how they're able to juggle both. Unbelievable. They go right into professional. I'm a captain, I'm a waiter, I'm a chef at one of my parties. And then the next thing you know, they're singing opera. It is unbelievable to me that they can do both at the same time. And that's what makes us so proud. And we say that every event we do is a performance, and our staff is on stage when they're serving a dinner, when they're passing cocktails. It's really a performance, and our name just speaks to that. And we tell our clients that too. We say our staff chooses to work your event, and therefore they are going to be the most professional and the most hospitable. But it really is mind-boggling to me that they can turn on a dime and then move into their personal, professional, exciting role. It's fun to watch.
If you're just joining us, talking with Jill Cole, she's the producer of Great Performances, and Great Performances is a premier catering company, and they do events, hospitality, and they recently announced their 2025 scholarship recipients, or I should say Artist Fellowship Awards. And so as they're giving their Artist Fellowship Awards out, there are actually 4 recipients, and I didn't get a chance to ask you. You want to share a little bit about the 4?
I do. I don't have that pulled up right at the moment. Hold on.
Okay, well, guess what? I can do it right here. I got you right
great.
here.
You have them.
If they keep the camera rolling, we'll do it like that, okay?
Great.
I think
Amazing.
I got Dane Terry, and got a fictional podcast musical, and inspired by a pivotal week in the life as a 12-year-old boy. Ananda White for The Butterfly Vase, a short film in which A girl suddenly finds herself at her boyfriend's funeral carrying a secret. Yulima,
Ulima.
yes, Gonzalez, The Manifesto of Grief, a poetic conceptual audiovisual work exploring memory, the body, and spiritual connection and the land. And then also we got Michael Russell for Everybody Eats, an illustrated children's book examining cultural differences around food with the goal of fostering inclusivity. Four very special people.
Yes, and again, they were all selected by our external judging panel. So it was exciting for us to see their work as well. Um, yeah, they're amazing, talented people, and
And you
we're
got different
excited to
styles there
document their
too.
journey. Yeah, we're excited to document their journey with the scholarship and with the fellowship to see how that impacts their work.
Yeah, and as I was saying, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you have different styles. You got, a podcast over here, short film, then you've got audio visual, and then you've got a children's book and a variety of different talents.
Yeah, that's why I said it. It really runs the gamut. It's so interesting. Our creative team of what they're doing. It's really special.
Yeah. For people who want to find out more, what do they do in terms of the Artist Fellowship Awards? How do they find out more?
Sure, our website is the best place to go. Greatperformances.com, and there's a place to work, work with us, and click. And we'd love to get people on board who are looking to be in the hospitality business, looking to be wait staff, servers, bartenders, chefs, culinary people in all different segments, even in sales. That is the best place to start. And everything is listed on our website, how to get in touch with us and how to work with us.
Yeah. Some people may say in New York City, $5,000 isn't a whole lot, but in the reality, $5,000 for an emerging artist goes a long way. What do
It
you
sure
hear
does.
back on the back end from artists after they've received such an award?
I mean, I think really $5,000 is a jumpstart for a lot of emerging artists. That's money that would take months to work for or years if they're working part-time for us. So the $5,000 goes such a long way because they know how to budget. They've sent their proposals, their programs, so we know how the money is going to be used because they've told us. And like I said, we want to work with them throughout their journey, and help support it even after the fellowship awards have been granted. So they're still a part of our family, and we always want them to succeed.
Yeah. So for yourself, I know you produce and put this on. What is the hardest part for you in all of this?
So I sell the events, I produce the events. So it's a, I would say, a constant juggle of managing the client expectations and making sure we're getting them the high level service that we need, and also making sure all of our internal departments are connected, from the culinary department, the booking department, the design department. There's so many pieces that go into making the event. It is such a team effort. Um, it is a performance. We can't do it without every single department, including our warehouse, our deliveries. Like I said, all of our events are off premise. So we have to bring all the food and beverage in, all the rentals, tables, linens, chairs, and then we bring it all out, usually the same day, in and out. So once you sort of get the hang of it, it makes a lot of sense. But sometimes it looks like organized chaos. But it's a challenge that I love. I've been here, like I said, 20 years. Every single event is different. Like I said, from small office parties to big galas and movie premieres. There is so many variations of what we do that it never gets old.
I know that for yourself, obviously, you get the event, it goes off well, you're happy, you're excited, and then it's on to the next year. When do things start to get ready for the next year?
Well, it depends on the client. Some annual clients want to start immediately after their event. We get a lot of, I would say, pop ups, things that happen right away. I got a call last week for a client that wanted to host the college championship football game in their offices with a big LED screen. So we brought in furniture. We brought in colored pillows that matched the teams. And that inquiry came in on a Thursday for the Monday night holiday football game. So it can be pop ups, it can be, a bride or a groom will sometimes want to plan 1 or 2 years in advance. Um, so it really depends on where they want to go, what venue they want to be at, and what kind of event they want to have. But we're usually available because we have such a large staff and we have such a committed staff that we can pull off a 3-day event notice. It's not always ideal, but sometimes we can make that happen.
Think about it for a minute. What has been the most difficult event you had to pull off?
Oh gosh. I would say the difficulty sometimes runs into like with other parties when we have dignitaries and high level speakers and we have Secret Service. So I would say managing some of all of those parts sometimes is challenging when things are out of our control. But that's one of our specialties is just to run with it and we adjust, we make changes on the fly, and we make changes in real time.
Yeah, well, you do great work, and I definitely want to thank you for taking the time and
Thank
sharing
you.
with us today. Before we leave, do give us an opportunity again. Tell our viewers how they can find out more information and get in contact.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to see the Bronx teams come out and join Great Performances. Our website is the best place to go. It's greatperformances.com, and there you can find out all about what we do, the events that we do, all of the work we do. And there is a work with us, a career button to just click and start the application to work with Great Performances.
And any upcoming events you have?
Oh gosh, we have a gala dinner tomorrow. We have the Red Dress Awards for American Heart Health for women's heart health. They honor like doctors and people doing work, and they call it the Red Dress Go Red for Women campaign, where everyone comes in a red dress, which is kind of fun. We've got a couple movie premieres coming up, but every day is something different.
Well, Jill, it's been a great conversation, great information. Congratulations with all the great work that you do. Jill Cole, who is the producer for Great Performances. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All righty. Well, we come to the end of our show today. Hope you enjoyed this week's discussion on the social justice forums. Now, if you want to rewatch this week's edition, catch the recablecast right here on Bronxnet.org. If you want to join in on the conversation, please don't hesitate. Present your point of view. Join us, visit us on social media at Bronxnet TV. We'll continue to elevate the discussion and bring further awareness across the globe. That's if you join us next week. I'm your host, Daren Jaime, saying take care. God bless.